Okay, so we're going to do a driving test route today. Okay, and currently we're in the Wakefield driving test centre. Okay, so before we start there, as we can see, okay, and the examiner will give a dialogue, something along the lines of, okay, we're about to do a 40-minute driving test. We're doing 20 minutes forward driving, 20 minutes of independent driving, one manoeuvre, and maybe an emergency stop. Have you understood what I've just told you?
Yes.
Okay, ready to start your test?
Yep.
Okay, when you're ready, please move away safely. So from here, we go into gear and we do our all-round checks. Okay, so that's so we look around, and if there's any traffic, we wait and then start our checks again. We can apply an indicator to let people know we're moving off. Okay, so yeah, we'll move away. Now the key to emerging out of the test centre is use first gear only. Okay. Because it's so tight, it'll give us the accuracy and the control to negotiate exiting the test centre. Okay, so we're turning right. Now here we're emerging from the test centre, so the examiner will be asking you to turn left. So we'll turn left and then immediate right. So we're going to use first gear to negotiate this whole process. And that'll give the accuracy, you see? Okay. Now we approach Mother's Way. We'll go to the end of this road here and you'll be asked to turn right. Well done. Okay, at the end of this road, we'll be turning right then, please. Good mirrors and signal. We get positioned right on the giveaway line so we can see well into the new road. Well emerged, well done. Now the roundabout in the distance, we'll be following the second exit. I'll be following the direction for Wakefield, please. Well done. Keep your position left of the invisible line. Well signalled off. Well adjusted for these vehicles. Okay, it's a tight road, so keep the speed down. And in the distance, we'll be coming to giveaway lines, and it does lead onto a one-way road. So an approach here, we can signal, but it's not necessary. Okay, just I'll leave it to you to give way to the giveaway lines. Thank you. Well assessed. As we approach this road, okay, in a short distance we'll be taking the next right. Okay, so here the lane markings are worn off, so it's important we position correctly here. Okay, so check your mirrors and signal, and then position into the lines if you can. Okay, can you see them?
Yep, I can.
Okay, so it's important we position correctly here, and assess and go. Well done. Okay, now this road, they might ask you to pull over somewhere safe. Okay, so it's important we position ourselves correctly on on the left hand side. Okay, so there's a lot of islands on the right hand side in the middle of the road. Also there's a lot of driveways and parked vehicles, so I'm going to ask you to pull up on the left at a safe place. So you have to be careful, there's a bus stop on the left as well, so just keep looking and position yourself somewhere past the bus stop. This will be fine, somewhere here, okay, where the grass is. Okay, I'm not covering the driveway. Okay, so here it's safe, convenient and legal. We've pulled over and we're not obstructing any cars that are trying to pass us from behind. Okay, and then he'll ask you to move off again safely when you can. So make sure we do our checks. Roll signal. Don't forget your shoulder. Yeah. Okay, well done. So on this road, we're going to follow this road for some distance, okay, and we'll just try to highlight some of the hazards that make it a little bit tricky as we negotiate the road. So it's a 30 road, so when it's safe, try to make the speed. And in the distance, we can see there's a warning sign for the roundabout. It's actually a mini roundabout.
Yep.
Okay. So here, as we approach, we gear down to 2. Keep the wheels going. Look into the distance. What do you think? Can we go?
We can.
Yeah. Good. Well done. And just use the speed that you can negotiate the roundabout with. When it's safe, you can build up your speed again. There's a zebra crossing in front of us. Just be careful, Dalton's approaching the crossing.
Yep.
Okay, stop if you need to. On this occasion we can go. Well done. And as we're following cars, make sure we keep a 2-second gap, a nice gap behind the car in front, so we can stop nice and easy if we need to. Okay, and at the end of the road, they will be asking us to take a left. Now with this one, we have to be careful that we time our signal. So we check our mirrors in good time, but timing of the signal, don't signal until you pass the last side road on the left, just here. So mirrors, and then good timing of signal. And as we're approaching, we can assess from the right hand side. Well assessed. And good emerging into the new road. Well done. It's a 30 road on this road. And they will ask you to drive for some distance, so just be careful of parked vehicles. The hatch markings in the middle of the road, we can use those to pass parked vehicles if we need to. Now as we're proceeding, in a short distance there'll be a set of traffic lights. Okay, we'll be asked to turn right at those set of traffic lights. Okay, so we keep going past the petrol station. Then need to position ourselves safely in the lane turning right. Okay, so good signal, and we need to just give way to oncoming side there. Okay. The lane markings again are worn out, so just make sure you're careful with your position. This is a good position you've got here. Well done. tell me when you think the suitable gap arrives.
After this car.
Well done. Well assessed. So the rule that I would advise you use there, if you can walk across the road from that point, then you can easily drive across the road there. Okay? So we can use that as a reference point. Now again, they'll ask you to drive down the road for some distance, and at some point in the distance they'll ask you to pull over on the left at a safe place. So in the meantime we'll have to negotiate these parked vehicles. So how we do that safely? Well, good mirror checks, good reduction of speed, well done. They will ask us to pull up on the left at some point past these traffic lights. What we have to be careful of is that as they ask us to pull over to the left, okay, there's school gates on the right hand side, okay, we must pass those school gates because buses might be coming out of there, and as we're pulling over to the left, we don't pull up next to the island in the middle. So somewhere after the island, please pull over to the left. Somewhere here will be fine. This makes it safe, convenient and legal. Okay, now what they'll do here, you'll embark on the independent drive. Okay, so they'll ask you, they'll say, okay, sir, we're now going to do the independent drive, so we're going to ask you to follow some road signs for quite some distance, for the distance of 20 minutes. So I'm asking you to move away safely, and in the distance we're going to pick up the road signs, so it'll be either Wakefield or Denby Dale. Okay, so should we follow Wakefield today? Yeah, we can follow Wakefield. Okay, so we'll be asking you to follow Wakefield. Okay. So when you can, move away safely, pick up the road signs for Wakefield. Good shoulder check this time, well done, and good moving off. Good frequent mirror checks, that's required as well on your driving test. Okay. I'd say frequent would mean every 7 to 10 seconds. Okay, just checking what's going on behind you and around you. Okay. So here's a road sign. We're picking up Wakefield City Centre. Well done. Now here we can signal, okay, just to show our intention to turn. As long as the signal doesn't harm the situation, then a signal will be very fine in this situation. And of course, using the handbrake at traffic lights is actually safer than not using a handbrake, because if someone hits into the back of us, then we don't go so far forward, as opposed to using a foot brake, which you could slip. The foot could slip and then you'd go into the car in front or go out into the road and other cars could hit you. Now here, we're dealing with the roundabout, we're following city centre. So make sure to look at the road markings and road signs to follow the roundabout safely. Okay. Here we're in the left lane and we can go ahead in the left lane. So this is fine. Good accuracy on the roundabout and good mirrors and signal coming off the roundabout. Okay. Now the next direction is a little bit tricky because we need to follow the road ahead. And on this particular roundabout, the road markings and road signs tell us we need to be in the right lane to go ahead. So we're trying to get in the right lane in good time so we don't get caught in traffic. Okay. Approaching the roundabout now, so we can prepare now. Good gearing down, well done. Second gear here is useful. Well assessed. And well mirror signal coming off to the second exit of the roundabout. Now the next direction the examiner will want you to follow is coming up shortly. Okay. So well dealt with the lights, and the examiner will be asking you to follow on the green sign, Trinity Walk, the market. So that shows us that we'll be taking a right at the next roundabout. Okay, so it's a third exit right. So we'll be preparing for the third exit right. On approach here. Good mirrors and signal, good position. Make sure you assess fully to the right. Well done. And as you mirrors and signal, try to get to the left lane as you exit off onto the third exit. Well done. Well executed. Now in the short distance we'll be following the next road sign, and that'll be the green sign which says Leeds, Bradford. Okay, so we'll be asked to follow Leeds, Bradford. Well follow the road round to the left. Coming to a set of traffic lights, position yourself correctly here, okay? We don't want to stop on the crossing at all. It is quite a big tailback of traffic, and this is good accurate positioning, so well done. And good checking of your three mirrors there. You're looking out for what's behind and any cyclist potentially filtering through on both sides. And here the road markings tell us that we must go left. So we can signal here left. We don't have to because the road takes us to the left. But as long as if we signal and the signal doesn't harm the situation, then it's okay to signal. Okay. And I think now would be a good time maybe to use the handbrake, so we can show the examiner we're being very safe in our driving. Which mirrors are we going to check? Well done, all three. That's good. Okay. Yep, keeping this lane, keeping the left lane. That's it.
Busting our job.
Okay. When we can, we'll make sure we're keeping the left lane then. Yep. We're going ahead. We're going in this middle lane, and we're going to follow the road ahead. Okay. And as we negotiate traffic lights, we're looking on both sides to look for any pedestrians that stood there that pressed the button for the lights to change. So try to be proactive as you're driving along, and try to anticipate things like light changes. That'll be a good idea. Okay?
Yep.
Well, as we can see in the distance, lights have changed. Someone stood at the side and he's pressed the button, the lights have changed. Well done. here the examiner I'll ask you to carry on following the road ahead. And for the purpose of the next exercise, he'll be giving you the next instruction that he needs you to be in the right lane to proceed. Okay, for the purpose of the next exercise. So, take our time, we get into the right lane with the mirrors and signal. Well done for positioning correctly there. So we're in the Wakefield city centre now, and as we're positioning forward, this right lane will become very important because it's quite tricky ahead. So we'll just stop for these lights. If we're in the left lane, then we'll have to only go left at the roundabout. But the examiner will require you to go ahead to the right. So that's why we need to be in the right lane here. The next direction they've asked us to follow will be the road sign to Outwood, Renthorpe, Morley. Good handbrake use again. So on the roundabout here, it's actually the second exit right. As you pass the first exit, you can then mirrors and signal off to the left. Well done. Well executed there. It is a 30 road here, and it is well pedestrianised, so we have to just drive according to the situation here. Okay. There's Wakefield College here, so there'll be a lot of students roaming around. We just must drive with caution. If it's safe to do so though, we must proceed to 30 miles an hour. Well stopped there, the traffic light's changing. So we're following the road ahead for some distance, and then we come to another tricky junction. The road markings here quite worn off, so we must be careful how we position. Okay, in the distance, there's bays to park up. We must position ourselves correctly, and then the examiner will ask you to go ahead. So when we can, please position in the left lane, that's it, and we're going ahead of the traffic lights. Okay, well done. The road marking's quite worn off, so you just have to be careful with your positioning here. Okay. And looking forward, we have to go forward ahead. Okay, yeah. The blue sign tells us where we need to position ourselves, so that will then help us with our positioning. Good handbrake usage there. Good mirror checks before you moved off. Well negotiated. Good position. And we will be following the road ahead. Now the lanes merge, okay, as we can see the arrows, so just check your sensor in the left mirror and your blind spot on the left. Just making sure that other cars are joining into the single road at the same time as us. We must be careful about that. Now further up, you can see all these parked vehicles, so just adjust for oncoming vehicles, just to make sure we're giving them enough space so we can pass each other safely. Well, slow down there to negotiate these parked vehicles and oncoming vehicles. Just give yourself enough time to make a good decision. Now in the distance, there's a pub we're approaching, and we will be required to turn left at the pub. It's called the Royal Spice. Good mirrors and signal in good time. Now in the distance, as we negotiate in this bend, we'll come to see a bridge. Now here, it's a narrow bridge, and we must negotiate that and anticipate that other vehicles might be coming on from the other side. So we might use the position on the left there just to give other cars on the oncoming side enough space so we can pass each other safely. Reduce your speed accordingly, and make sure that you're driving cautiously enough to make the adjustments that are necessary. Well done. Did that really well there. Congratulations for that. And in the far distance, there's another bend to the right, and just after the bend to the right, there's another tricky hazard there. There's always vehicles parked on both sides of the road. Sometimes those vehicles are quite big, so that we have to just apply more caution as we negotiate these parked vehicles. So here we can see a dump truck in the distance that's collecting bins, so we have to approach with caution here, just to give enough space. Don't get too close. That's a good position to stop. Well done. And as we can see around the dump truck, there's other vehicles wanting to pass on the oncoming side. So once this dump truck clears, we would then have to assess if there's enough space for us to be able to negotiate these parked vehicles. So we approach slowly. And what do you think? What we're going to do? What do you think is the best course of action here? Should we wait?
We need to stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah. Always be defensive in your driving approach. Okay. The onus is on you to be defensive. Okay. You will fail your driving test. Look out for the appropriate situation. Any clues, any flashing, any nodding by other drivers, or any waiting, and then we can take that as a sign. We can thank the drivers back, okay? So we can give a thanks to the driver. Make sure you don't beckon them across. Make sure you don't flash anybody. Make sure you don't horn or use your hazard lights to thank people. That's a definite fail. So to thank somebody, we can use a firm, fixed thank you. Okay, and that's just raising your hand and letting the other driver know that you appreciate their gesture.
From here we need to go left.
So at the Newport Oil pub, we'll be turning left. Mirrors and signal, just good there. Well done. We have priority here, so cars that are turning in on the oncoming side have to wait for us. So make sure you show your confidence by following the rule. The rule is the most important factor when you're driving test. Now the dump truck is turning because it's a huge vehicle, it needs a little bit more space and time, so we adjust, giving that space and time. It's a narrow road here, so we drive accordingly to the situation. So be nice and defensive in here. don't forget we've passed bus stops just now. Okay, so buses and larger vehicles drive on this narrow road, so we must be adjusting for anything that might come towards us that's bigger than normal. Try to be defensive on our approach. Further up, as we negotiate the bend, the examiner will ask you to pull up at a safe place, which is safe, convenient and legal. So in a moment I will be asking you to do that. Okay, now it's up to you to pick a safe, convenient, legal spot. Okay, scan the area. Pulling over to the left doesn't mean you have to pull up straight away. It means you must make an assessment yourself. So further up, if you can do that, please. Yep, so the curb's raised. Not blocking up any driveway again. Okay. We're not parked opposite another vehicle. Okay. And we're not obstructing any vehicles passing us. Take your signal off, please. And once we've done that exercise, he'll ask you then to move away safely when you can. So can you just do that for me, please? Well done. Check it all around now. There's nobody there to benefit from the signal, so we don't always signal when we're pulling over and moving off, only if there's anyone there to benefit, as opposed to junctions where we signal at all junctions. So we've got some construction works going on here. We're just going to position ourselves and stop in a place where we're not obstructing other vehicles trying to on the oncoming side to pass us. This is a good position, well done. So there's a lot of construction works going on at the moment here in Leeds. So this is a hazard that we have to just be aware of as and when we come to them. Well negotiate the traffic lights there, and good position there to negotiate the construction works. Giving a fair gap to these builders as well as we are proceeding with caution. Good mirrors to position back to your side of the road. Well done. Now, at the end of the road, okay, we will be turning right. Good mirrors and signal in good time. What gear are we going to use here? First, the view severely obstructed, and we're going to position ourselves dead on the giveaway line, so just so we can get a good view of both sides. So it might take some time to find a safe gap, but you wait as long as it takes you to emerge safely. Okay, there's no time constraint there, so take your time, make sure it's safe, and then move off when you can. Okay, now I will be asking you to pull up on the left hand side at a safe place. Okay. Anywhere here, please. Somewhere which is safe, convenient and legal. Well done. And as you've pulled over, the examiner will be then indicating to you, okay, we've now finished the independent part of the driving. I will now return to giving you instructions. Okay. So the independent driving is finished. Just follow my instruction from now on until the end of the test. Okay. Okay. So when you can, please move away safely, and we will be taking the next road on the left. Good scanning round, good checks. And it's just the next road on the left there. Okay, so we are joining a country road. Okay. The sign change does indicate that it is a national speed limit. Okay. So we can turn in when we can. On a single carriageway like this, that would tell us the national speed limit is a 60.
Yeah.
But assessing the road situation and conditions, it's a narrow countryside road. It's a very bendy road. There's lots of bends with blind sides, so we could never ever feasibly make the national speed limit on this road. So please consider common sense and a safety. So here, I'm looking at the speed limit now. We're approaching this oncoming vehicle van at 29-30 miles an hour. There's a double sharp bend in the distance, so we'll be gearing down to second gear on this particular section of the road because it's very narrow. Okay. So a lot of these countryside roads are protected by law, so that they can't make adjustments to these roads. So they can't make construction adjustments. So what they do, they make adjustments to the speed limits. Okay, we have to adjust accordingly. So just because it's a national speed limit doesn't mean that you have to get to the speed limit. You have to use your common sense in situations like this and adjust to what you think is a safe speed limit. Right now we're going at 23-24 miles an hour, which is fine for the road like this. The bridge is even narrower, so we have to adjust even more accordingly to the situation. If we can make some speed progress, then we should try to do that. Good gearing up now, well done. And then we're going to have to adjust for the next bend again. And in the distance there's a sharp bend to the left, so we'd have to adjust accordingly to the gear. We're using second gear for here because it is quite a sharp bend to the left. Well negotiated there. There was oncoming vehicles and we had to be very careful about those vehicles as well. Okay, now in the distance there's a T-junction, and the T-junction we're turning right. Now we have to be very careful because it's quite tricky on this T-junction. We are turning right, and there's a dual carriageway that we're going to emerge onto. So when we do emerge, we have to position ourselves to the left. There's no entry on the right hand side because of the dual carriageway. And we join an acceleration lane. It's a 50 road here. We have to build up our speed in the acceleration lane before we join the dual carriageway. So we're assessing now whether it's safe or not to position ourselves onto the dual carriageway, which it is. Well done there. You joined the dual carriageway very well. Now here, the examiner will be asking you to follow Wakefield. Okay, it's the middle lane. Stay in the middle lane and proceed in the middle lane, because the left lane goes into the motorway and the far right lane also goes into a motorway. We don't go on the motorway on the driving test, so we stay in the middle lane for now, and then once we're on the roundabout itself, we position on the left hand side and we're following the lane for Wakefield. Okay, and as we pass the traffic lights, you'll get the next instruction, and that will be at the next set of traffic lights we'll be turning left. So we're positioning onto Flanshaw Trading Estate. So when you can, position yourself as and when it's safe to do so, nice and early, and then we follow the road round to the left, making sure that as we're proceeding, it's safe to do so. At the roundabout, we're taking the first exit ahead. So in here we kind of middle signal on approach, because it is the first exit. It's fine to signal on approach. Well done for keeping the signal going there. And then they are likely to ask you that when it's safe, if you could pull over to the left, please. Bearing in mind we are close to the test station now. Well positioned, nice and tight to the left. Okay, and then they'll be asking you, for the purpose of the exercise, to move away when you can. So you'll be asked to do this 4 or 5 times on your driving test. So you'll be asked to move over, pull over and move off 4 or 5 times on your driving test. They want to make sure that you can do this in different situations, on hills, on narrow roads, on not busy roads, on busy roads, and it's left at the roundabout, please. Thank you. So they'll test you on all manner of roads. So just be wary of that, okay? We're looking for somewhere safe, convenient and legal when we're asked to pull over on the left. As of now, we're taking the next road left, please. So just make sure it is safe. Gearing down will be fine here. Well negotiated that tight gap. It wasn't easy. It took your time. Make sure that when you aim towards the gap, it's a safe gap. It takes as much time as it needs to take to do it safely. Always remember, it's always about safety. Take the next left, please. Well done. And we're very close to the test station. So as we're coming back to the test station, as we're approaching this road here, my advice would be to use first gear to negotiate the whole way back into the test centre. So take a left and an immediate right, please. Scan both sides and then take the next right when you can. Okay. And here they'll be asking you, because we haven't done the manoeuvre, we'll be doing a reverse bay park on the manoeuvre. So go forward, we'll go to the end on this one, because there's currently another bay park being proceeded, and we can use these bays here on the right hand side, the top of the car park. So make sure you position yourself left, okay, and go into this little area here. Keep going forward, keep into this little area here, okay, and then we can proceed and try the bay park now. So make sure you're doing your all-round checks. Select reverse gear, so you're signalling to everyone what your intention is. All-round checks. Lower your wing mirrors so that you can see the lines of the bays that you're choosing as you're reversing in. Okay. That's it. So keep doing your all-round checks. Look for any danger. Look for pedestrians walking past from your blind spots, for all those kinds of things, cars that might be coming. At the same time, use your wing mirrors and adjust according to the bay lines that you choose. Well adjusted. Okay. And you can make as many adjustments as you need to as you're reversing back. Okay. It's not about the adjustments that you're making as you move back, it's about where you finish. Just keep looking around, look for the cars moving off, and just allow them to pass. That's it. Good checks here. These are all round checks. Well done. Okay. And you've reversed in, and the back wheels, as we can see, are close to the curb. The lines on both sides of the car, you're in the bay. And just as a footnote, the reference point we used at the start was the shoulder is at the third line forward of the bay that we picked. So of the bay that we picked, we use the first line of the bay, and then we count that as the first line, and then we use the third line forward, and that will be the bay that we choose. Our shoulder comes to the bay.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've finished off the manoeuvre, and now we can switch the engine off, and that's a maneuver finished there, and your test has been finished there, completed.
Perfect.
Okay, well done. Congratulations, you passed.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
All
this
right.
was test route number 1 today, what we did, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is test route number 1.
Perfect. Yeah, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Dheeraj.
No problem.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, Pupesh, well done.